BFree CBD.com joins forces with Championship Wrestling to bring you the all-new Championship Wrestling podcast. And here's your host, Dustin Starr, featuring special guest,
BFree CBD,
founder of BFree CBD, Daryl Bird. Here we go!
Body aches gone, leg pain gone, back pain gone, relaxation on.
Happy Monday, everybody! It's episode 11 of the all-new Championship Wrestling podcast presented by BFree CBD. Thank you for joining us. It's social distancing at its finest. We're going to talk all about the strange couple of days we've had. But I am your host, Dustin Starr. Be sure to check out our friends at BFreeCBD.com. That's the letter B, FreeCBD.com. You can save 20% on CBD every single day. Do us a favor, hit that subscribe button wherever you're listening. Follow us at CW30 Wrestling. I'm at Dustin Starr. And of course, follow our sponsor at BFree CBD. Man, this week was like no other that I have ever experienced, and I know that you are thinking the same thing. It's affected everybody. We've all been affected by COVID-19, aka the coronavirus. So real quick, let me just run down how this has directly affected myself, my family, and then also Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. So up first, the NBA and the Memphis Grizzlies, which I am the game night MC at every home game at FedEx Forum. They decided to suspend play. Just very, very shocking, along with the NCAA March Madness being canceled, all the tournaments being canceled, just everything. And then the NBA G League, I work with the Memphis Hustle. Of course, they suspended play. I'm the PA guy there at all the home games at Landers Center. Hopefully, those seasons are not over and they'll continue at a later date. And then I got word on the same day that our Grind City Wrestling podcast was going to be postponed for that week. Just a precaution, just to make sure that everybody was okay. It was just one of those things. So we postponed that for a week. Hopefully we're back this Thursday on Grind City Wrestling because we've got the Heritage Champion Watts scheduled. We had to reschedule him for Thursday, so hopefully that will happen. Also, USL Soccer, Memphis 901 FC that I do work with over at AutoZone Park. They have postponed their season for 30 days at least. And then the news came from the MILB, which I am the in-game MC alongside my lovely Maria with the Memphis Redbirds. They also play at AutoZone Park, so they have postponed their season for 30 days. Just incredible. And then Local Memphis Live, myself and my Maria were hosting on Friday morning, and we learned that that morning show will be suspended for at least 2 weeks. And that's due to the fact of COVID-19 and not having guests and things like that inside the studio when you absolutely do not have to. And then everybody's talking about WrestleMania. That's been the big question. WrestleMania. I'm going to talk more about it in the mailbag. But it's not looking good. And we canceled our plans to be there on April 5th. So we actually had flights and hotels and WrestleMania tickets. And so as of just a couple of weeks ago, we made the decision not to go. It's just been incredible. And instead, we're going to throw the biggest WrestleMania party in the city of Memphis at Dave & Buster's, just as long as it's still on for April 5th. I'm going to talk more about that in the mailbag, like I said. Lots of questions are coming in regarding our birthday bash on April the 25th. I did a couple of YouTube lives earlier this week just to answer some questions about it. So far, our birthday bash is still scheduled for April 25th. That date has not moved. We are 6 weeks away, so that's over 30 days. But trust me, we are prepared to pivot and change the date if we need to. So be on the lookout for that. But as of right now, the Championship Wrestling Birthday Bash is still on for April 25th. Also, update coming out of Hollywood, California. The TV tapings in Hollywood and in Arizona, which is Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and Championship Wrestling from Arizona. Those live events have been postponed for at least 30 days. But after the recent events with WWE and UFC having their shows without an audience, there is some talk about possibly taping without audiences on our program. But you will not see that affect us at Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle, at least not yet. We still have some footage in the can. Myself and my Maria, we will make sure, along with David Marquez and his team, we'll make sure that we have the absolute best content and, of course, the highest production quality of whatever we decide to do. But those live tapings have been postponed for at least 30 days. And last but not least, man, we lost one of the best wrestling fans that I've ever met. So rest easy to our good friend and wrestling fan, Kevin Conley. And any Memphis wrestling fan that attends live events, you know exactly who Kevin Conley is because he was at all of them. And I was fortunate enough to be able to swing by and visit him the week that he entered the hospital from his heart attack. Just one of those things, man. He lit up when I walked into the room. He seemed like he was going to be okay. I believe his heart, after his heart attack, was a little worse than they thought, so they did not put a stent in. I believe he needed triple bypass surgery, and his heart just wasn't strong enough for that. I didn't expect him to pass away Saturday at 2:45 p.m. All the wrestling fans and wrestlers and everybody else went to visit him, and that was the last picture that we took together, was there at the hospital room. And I fully expected to be able to go and visit my friend Kevin Conley this week, take him some food, talk some wrestling, but now I will not have that opportunity to do so. That's sad, man. It's real sad. So, thoughts and prayers out to Kevin Conley's friends and his family. I will definitely be at the funeral if at all possible. And of course, Kevin Conley will have a ringside seat at the birthday bash, regardless if he's there physically or not. I know that he'll be there spiritually. But what a bizarre week. It's just like out of a movie. We've been indoors for several days and I'm going stir crazy. So let's talk some professional wrestling, shall we? Freedom starts with the choice to be free. Find your free, pain-free, anxiety-free, stress-free, BFree CBD. Location coming soon to Memphis, Tennessee. BFreeCBD.com.
The Championship Wrestling Rewind is brought to you by BFree CBD.
Let's rewind back to last week's Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. It was the PP3 Finals Blockbuster Part 1. Man, sometimes it's easy to pick my favorite part of Saturday's show, but this week, big round of applause to everybody involved. What a freaking episode, and it all started in the opening match. It set the pace for the entire show. NWA Television Champion, the outlandish Zicky Dice, went head-to-head with Jordan Clearwater, who had just lost the week before in the semifinals to Ray Rosas, and he was back with a vengeance. These guys tore it down. Big victory for Jordan Clearwater. Might have actually been an upset, but then immediately following the match, Zicky Dice rolls out for his walk-off promo. David Marquez is standing by, and man, did he let loose. Great promo by Zicky Dice. He's one of the best in the business right now. Had some disparaging things to say about Memphis, but I won't hold that against him. He was upset and seemingly just walked out on the program. But after that, man, it didn't slow down. It was match number 3 of the best of 7 series from Houston Body, who threw another curveball at Lacey Ryan, who was down 0-2 to to Heather Monroe, but this time the stipulation was a little more strange than ever because Heather Monroe didn't wrestle. He called out Vipress, and Vipress made her championship wrestling debut. Great women's division match. Lacey Ryan picks up a big victory with a frog splash off the top rope. Now that series is 2-1. Excellent match. Anthony Idol was up next. He had an awesome promo. I'm telling you, I can't pick a favorite here. The line that Anthony Idol used, where he says he single arm curls dumbbells bigger than Adrian Quest, was hilarious, and I believe it. So Anthony Idol's got a big opportunity next week to win the PP3 Cup, and then it was the main event. Now, as if this tag team match wasn't already going to be awesome between Vermin and the Wolf Zaddies, who, by the way, are undefeated. But Johnny Yuma tugs on Superman's cape and makes this a loser leaves town match. And these two tag teams tore it down just like it was their final match. And unfortunately for the team of Vermin, Johnny Yuma and Kevin Martinson, they were exterminated. So we've seen the last of Vermin in Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle, thanks to the Wolf Zaddies, who remain undefeated, and you'd think that they have the United Tag Team titles in their sights. But what a freaking show. If you missed it, you need to go back on YouTube. All you have to do is search at CW30 Wrestling. It'll come right up. There's a playlist with every single episode, including our 50th episode that happened on Saturday. What a show.
The Championship Wrestling Lookout is brought to you by BFree CBD.
Next week, you need to look out for the PP3 Finals Blockbuster Part 2. Check this out. Buddy Royal goes head-to-head with his former friend and partner Levi Shapiro, who's going to have Howdy Price in his corner. And the winner will get a shot at the United TV title that Dan Joseph currently holds. Man, these guys have attacked each other week after week. Howdy Price is stirring the pot, but the former classic connection collide. Buddy Royal versus Levi Shapiro. Winner gets a shot at the United TV Championship. And also in action, 6-man tag team action. The Friendship Farm with Gentleman Jervis. They're going to be in 6-man tag team action. And check this out, man. I picked up a Gentleman Jervis mask this week, and I can't wait for it to arrive. I'm going to do my best Gentleman Jervis impersonation. Yes, I'm going to put the mask over the top of my hair. Shout out to Gentleman Jervis. Love supporting the boys and can't wait to get my mask. Also, in the main event, it's the PP3 Finals. Winner gets the cup, Percy's privilege, and a shot at any championship, any place, anytime, and it's the neon phenomenon, Anthony Idol, who we all love, all across the board. He goes head-to-head with Ray Rosas, who nobody likes. And I just told Anthony Idol earlier last week, punch Ray Rosas in the face real good for us. Yeah, soften him up for us, because at the birthday bash, I'm going to kick his butt. Also, you need to look out for this.
Nerd 901 is teaming up with Championship Wrestling to benefit Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Mid-South.
That's right. They'll be playing board games live on Twitch, and they'll be accepting donations to send mentors and mentees to the Championship Wrestling Birthday Bash at AutoZone Park. They're going to see us in action.
Watch us beat Dustin in board games first. No matter where you are in the world, you can join us Friday, March 20th at 8 p.m.
It's easy to remember, twitch.tv/nerd901.
See you on the live stream.
It's time for this week's Mailbag. Mailbag.
Social distancing while helping others. We hope you join us at twitch.tv/nerd901 on Friday. That's this Friday, March 20th at 8 p.m. this week. Benefiting Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Mid-South. But now it's time for the Mailbag. It's my favorite segment where you ask me questions and I answer them. And usually they're a whole lot of fun, just like this week. So, first question. What Grizzlies game was the best you went to? All right, so that's the best I went to, not the ones that I've worked. And I was a big Memphis Grizzlies fan before I became the game night MC, and my family would always go to these big games. And when Mike Conley broke his face, his comeback game was probably one of the most exciting games I've ever seen in my entire life. It's where he wore the mask. The crowd was electric. It reminded me of a big baby face making his comeback, and oh man, the fans just rallied behind him, and Memphis came together like I've never ever seen before, and Mike Conley played so lights out. It was just a great overall experience, and it was just awesome. Memphis Grizzlies, my favorite game. Best game I went to was the Mike Conley broken face game. And also, let me take a second to shout out to the Memphis Grizzlies for taking care of us employees who will not be able to work those game nights. And so shout out to Papa Para for taking care of us. Next question. Drop kick or clothesline? If you had to pick one to use the most. How about both? The thing about a clothesline is it doesn't take that much effort. You just freaking bam, hit the guy, right? Drop kicks, they got to be a little more pretty. You got to be a little more fancy. When you hit a drop kick, you got to kick the guy right in the face. If you hit him in the chest or the stomach, whoo, that's a stinker. So clotheslines take less effort. Drop kicks take a lot more effort and have to be pretty. But I would say that I always prided myself on having one of the best drop kicks in the Mid-South. You don't believe me? You doubt me? At me, at Dustin Starr. Next question. Most memorable bump you've ever taken besides sweet chin music on Raw? Yeah, man. So I shouted out Johnny Jeter last week because we worked together as he was Spirit Squad, and I took a sweet chin music from HBK on Monday Night Raw. And I know it sounds weird, like bragging about, oh, I got kicked in the face, but man, that was like bucket list. Taking the super kick, the sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels. But there are a few bumps that really stick with you throughout the years. And the super kick, of course, was one of them, but also like a careless choke slam that gave me a concussion. That was memorable for all the wrong reasons, but it taught me a lesson to not let people pick me up that I didn't trust. But let's see, one of the most memorable bumps, without a doubt, would be coming from FCW, WWE's developmental territory, where I worked out in the ring with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Took shoulder tackles, headlock takedowns. I mean, we basically had a little mini match running spots. He was just trying to show the boys the difference in how to put headlocks on and timing and all that good stuff. And Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and I used to do cardio next to one another at the gym. And his cardio routine was pretty cool, where he would increase the pace, slow it down, increase it, and slow it down. And he would always tell me that would help keep him in ring shape. Now, mind you, this was 10 years ago. He was still getting older. He wasn't in the ring anymore, but the guy was still worried about his in-ring cardio. But my most memorable bumps, other than sweet chin music on Raw, would definitely have to be working out in the ring with Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. Next question, the odds of WrestleMania being canceled. Well, I expect the news to come this week sometime, and I think that they're going to change the date of WrestleMania. And whether it's from the city of Tampa forcing WWE to pull the plug, or WWE stepping up and doing it, I know it's a very tough decision to make, but 5-Star right now is looking into his crystal ball, and I think the new date will be Sunday, June 7th, 2020 in Tampa Bay. That's all I got to say about it. Next question. What do you do in your free time? Free time? What's that? Not much free time up until right now. And what I've been doing with my free time is working on new content for Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle, doing podcasts. Also, last night, I had a Facebook live stream. It was a watch-along on the FCW documentary where I told stories and interacted with you all while watching the FCW documentary on WWE Network. So Maria and myself have spent a lot of time as we're self-quarantined, not because we have COVID-19, but because we are smart and trying to stay out of the crowds, so all this will die down. But not much free time other than working and grinding, man. But we do love taking vacation and going to the beach. I don't know if you count that as downtime. All right, last question today is a good one. Favorite moment in your wrestling career? Now, I had to think about this one because I do have a very, very, very fond memory of wrestling inside a sold-out FedEx Forum for WWE where Justin Roberts, and he remembers this, he actually told me this story when we saw each other just a couple of months ago when they were in town for AEW. But Justin Roberts approached me before my dark match backstage and said, "Hey, are you Dustin Starr?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Man, there's a lot of signs out there for you." I said, "Yeah, right. No way." I said, "No, I'm serious." I thought he was pulling my leg. When I walked out, got into the ring, and looked out into the audience, boy, did Memphis show up, man. There were Dustin Starr signs in the crowd, and I couldn't believe it. That's a really fond favorite memory that I have in my wrestling career. Also, signing my WWE deal. I mean, what's better than that? Here's a little funny story about that. So, when I had the phone conversation with Ty Bailey, I asked him, what do I need to do between now and then? Because he said he was going to overnight a contract. He said, stay off the internet. I said, okay. So I get my FedEx envelope in the mail, did not open it. I used to work at the newspaper here, the local newspaper in the digital department. And I took it to work with me, man. I carried that FedEx envelope with me all day long and didn't open it. How incredible is that? I don't know why I held on to it. I wanted to do it at the end of the day when work was out of the way and I could read it from front page all the way to back page and then sign it. But I'll never, ever, ever forget that. So I carried that contract and that package around all day before opening it and signing it. For all I knew, it maybe there wasn't a contract in there. Man, what a letdown that would have been. But my absolute favorite moment in my wrestling career was getting our own television show, Championship Wrestling, presented by Pro Shingle. And just to pull the curtain back just a little bit, when myself and my Maria were hired and signed with CW30 Memphis to host the station as the CW30 Stars, the general manager asked me, why is there not wrestling on television in Memphis anymore? And I kind of looked behind me like, who's he talking to? I said, hey man, you're the TV guy, you tell me. And he said, no, you're the wrestling guy, you tell me. I said, all right, well, I think we need to get to work on this. And that was the very first conversations, day one at CW30 Memphis. They were asking about putting wrestling on television. And my absolute favorite moment in all of my wrestling career would have to be signing the deal to get our own Championship Wrestling presented by Pro Shingle. Thank you guys for sending in your questions. I always post on my Instagram story at Dustin Starr. Ask me anything, and I mean ask me anything. Some of them's funny, some of them are serious, but I appreciate each and every one of them, and you can send me your questions, and I'll answer them next week right here on the Mailbag on the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFree CBD. Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening to the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFreeCBD.com.
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to support our partners at BFreeCBD.com. That's the letter B, Free CBD. They're offering 20% off every single day. And if you already take CBD, or if you've been thinking about trying it, or you just want to get more information and educate yourself on it, certainly try BFree CBD. And also, if you like them on Facebook, you'll have a chance to win free CBD. And get this week, they're going to have CBD hand sanitizer available. You can get that online. You can follow them on social at BFree CBD. But they're going to have CBD hand sanitizer. And you know that's hard to find nowadays, hand sanitizer in general. They're going to have it. BFreeCBD.com. We're going to catch you next week right here once again on the Championship Wrestling Podcast presented by BFree CBD. And as we depart, I remind you that none of us like the circumstances that we're in right now with COVID-19, but please respect the social distancing and follow all the guidelines that are being set in place, or else we're going to lose more and more quality of our everyday lives. Until next week, I am Dustin Starr, saying so long,